Hi, I'm Dom. I like to hunt deer and do long walks on the beach.
What do you mean? When did you start walking on the beach?
I don't know.
When he was
I don't even have a beach.
Hey guys, Dom here from Clover Trading. Just kind of wanted to go through 2023, do a year in review, the high points, the low points, what I thought I did well, what I think I need to work on, and what I've learned, from the lessons of this year. So 2023 for me started off pretty well. I think I was up in the $70,000 or $80,000 range in January going into February. I was doing a lot of what I was doing well in 2022. There were some pump shorts, which had been working really well in 2022. That's where I made a lot of my money because small caps just in general weren't running as much. We didn't have the multi-day runs that led to multi-day breakouts, which led to first red days, which led to first green days. And due to that, we really had to find different edges in the market. These Chinese promotional type of plays where these low float stocks would get manipulated, IPO, and just dump 80-90% in the day was where the bulk of a lot of small cap traders' money came from, me included. And during that time, I learned a lot of really bad lessons because I was making money over time trading these stocks. But at the time, when something went against you, because there was no real risk level, there was no real risk management going on because it was just short on a specific day because text messages are going out and the stock is either IPOing and they're going to dump and liquidate shares, or you're expecting an 80 or 90% drop. It's really hard not to continue to, as you make money doing that, size in more, size in more, size in more, to the point where at some point, if shorts trip over themselves, if the liquidation doesn't happen, and these are generally lower float stocks, which means as they trade more volume, there's a lot of demand with not a lot of supply, they can move really fast against you. And you can put yourself into some really rough situations with a lot of size where, you might make 50 or 100K when they work, all of a sudden in a snap of a finger, you're down 50 or 100K and wondering, what's the cut point? What am I really risking? And I learned a lot of really good lessons this year. I pretty much broke even on the year. This is the first time in like 6 or 7 years where I haven't continued to make more and more progress and set new records for myself in terms of overall profits. I think it's necessary for me just because of how much I was able to learn. You hear everyone say this is a marathon, not a sprint, and that couldn't be more true. You look at these guys doing it for 10 years or 20 years, how much lessons they've learned, how much they've gone through the ringer, through the ups and downs, and how much they have had to experience to get to those points. And I'm starting to realize that here in 2023, where it's not all sunshine and rainbows and you just show up every day, rinse, repeat, do the same thing and make money. You have to continually work at this and you have to grow and learn from your mistakes, move patterns into your arsenal, take some out, adapt as the weeks and months go by to different changing markets. And I've always wanted to be the type of trader that can be consistent across all time frames, year to year, different markets, bull runs, bear markets, recessions, whatever it is. And this year was a really big wake-up call for that. One of the biggest things I've learned in the last few weeks, I need to become the 2016, 17, 18 version of myself. The one who had a trading system, who had rules, who wouldn't allow himself to lose more than a certain amount on any given day or any given trade. He wasn't persuaded by other people's trade plans or ideas, and he wasn't constantly looking to add more and more trading opportunities or systems or patterns into his system. He really respected risk reward. He really respected risk management. He traded his system, he made his money, and he moved on. And there wasn't a whole lot of regrets. There wasn't a whole lot of needing to do more or do things differently. It was do what works and what works for you and continue to do that over time. Something that a lot of traders fall into, especially when they become intermediate or advanced, is you can start to do too much. When you realize at the end of the day, the edge and the margin for error is so small in this game at any level. It doesn't matter if you're trading 100,000 shares or 500 shares. Your edge is very small. And the second you start to deviate from that, you start to add in a bunch of no patterns, you start to trade things without risk management, your results can dramatically change. And that's something I've noticed over the last few weeks is I go through all my trades and I say, here are the 5 trades I took today. 3 of these I should have never taken because they don't fit any system that I have. And these other 2, they were a break-even trade, a small win. I'm red on the day today. And if I'm not doing any in-depth look at my statistics, it just looks like a red day in which nothing worked. But in reality, I shouldn't have taken 3 trades. I should be small green on the day, not red. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned this year is that every decision I make, every time I decide to take Huddy's trade or Kyle's trade or trade or short a random low float gapper or buy something into the close because someone else is, or try to learn some random pattern that I have no experience with and haven't studied or tracked before trading it. Those things are the difference between green and red. And the 2016, 17, 18 version of myself had to eliminate all those things. I had to cut those things out to actually start being profitable. And once you're profitable for a really long time and you're super consistent, and every year is 6 figures or 7 figures, you start to forget about the little things, the things that got you there. What I'm realizing here in 2023 is I need to go back to that. From a trading perspective, what I've seen work the most in 2023, the lessons I've learned is that volume is the king. I can't just trade a stock based off its technical pattern if there isn't volume, if there isn't eyes, if there's not attention in that specific vehicle at that moment in time. When we trade these small cap stocks, we're looking at 2 to 3 days of the entire year where these stocks are relevant, where they have PRs, where they're trading volume. If they don't have all of that, they don't have every bit of criteria needed to form a small cap runner, then I need to avoid them. The breakouts that have been working this year, the ones where I've made the most money, is high volume breakouts that are holding the breakout level, even if they've had to spike a lot to get to those levels. Whereas in past years, I'm really focused on getting in early near support and kind of letting them develop and move towards the breakout level so I don't have to have an average up there. That just hasn't worked this year because those are liquid stocks. No one's coming back to trade them. The ones that have worked, and we just saw it this last few weeks with RDHL, ICCM, right into the breakout level. They break it. Maybe you've had to run 50, 100, 150% to get there. But once they start to prove that they can hold that, they prove that they can hold it. They're doing massive, massive volume. That's the indicator this year to me that above all means the most is volume. I feel like we got away from that a lot in 2020, 2021. In those years, you could buy anything, whether it was a liquid trading massive volume or not. There was so much activity in the market. There was so much money pouring into it that things just went up. Breakouts did work even if they were low volume. You could short something on 3 or 4 green days even if it didn't have that much volume and get 20 or 30% red day in the morning. It's just not the case now. You have to be dialed in. You have to narrow your focus only to the best of the best opportunities. As we move into 2024 and move into winter trading here, I'm excited about the opportunities we have so far. Definitely showing to speed up. The overall market looks to be strong. Winter trading in general, if you look at small cap traders' performance, you'll generally see that starting November, December, all the way up until March, usually is the best performance, peak performance for the market for trading. So we'll see. You're going to use that and just predict that we're going to have a crazy small cap market, but I'm ready for it. If it is, I'm ready to prepare every single day and show up every single morning early, stay late, do all the work and all the prerequisites to be successful. But I'm really just gonna take all these lessons with me into 2024 to do the best I possibly can. What I am willing to do that I don't think many people are willing to do, and why so many people struggle to find consistency in the market, there's a lot of different things, but I think it comes down to being emotionally invincible. Like, you have to be so dedicated and so strong in the face of adversity most of the time. Anyone who's found any success in the market has had to go through a stretch where they probably cried at night. They probably cried at their monitor and their computer. They probably were so stressed that they had some sort of heart condition or had to go to the hospital for stomach pains or something. This is not an easy industry to get in. You are dealing with the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And it is very difficult. And you have to be willing to put in long hours. You have to be willing to give up and sacrifice time in other areas of your life to commit to this. You hear people talk about 10,000 hours all the time, and it couldn't be more true. I think the hardest thing to do is when you found success and then things start to go off the rails, and then you start to question your pride and how good are you at this game, and people are seeing you on Twitter or on YouTube videos, and you question if you're even good at this or if you'll find it again. Being able to put your head down and do it again, I think is a lot harder. To go back into the dark and go, okay, I need to study. I'm making this mistake. I've gotten complacent. I've gotten lazy. But for me, what I'm willing to do is just change everything. When stuff's not working, you have to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. You have to switch up a little bit, even if it's switching from what you're doing back to your blueprint, back to what got you successful. You have to change. You have to be adaptable. You have to be willing to sacrifice a lot to be good at this game, and it never, ever stops. So going into 2024, my New Year's resolution, if you will, I try to not have I want to start going to the gym or vague goals. Don't really have specific milestones either. I want to make $1 million in 2024, or I want to have this many green weeks or green months. I want to be better. I want to grow. Every single year, I want to be better than the year before. And I don't want to judge that based off the results and go, okay, well, 2022, I made less money than 2021, so I'm moving in the wrong direction. I'm getting worse. In 2023, I didn't make as much as I did in 2022, so I'm getting worse. I really want to judge it by, not necessarily my character, but who I am as a person, and what are some traits and qualities that I can gain and learn going into 2024 that I believe a year from now, I will have gotten better. And I want that to be at all stages in my life. So some of my thoughts and questions I might ask myself when I'm going through a period of success, whether that's week-long, month-long, years-long, where you're just killing in the market. Things are working, your patterns are working. You finally put in the hours and you're getting paid for it. I remember the first few months of profitability for me in 2017 to 18, it felt really weird. And you asked about imposter syndrome, and that's kind of, I remember feeling that, like, people always ask about light bulb moments or aha moments. I never felt that. I went from breaking even, biggest red month ever, to $4,000, $8,000 month, 20K month, 40K month. I didn't remember changing all that much. I didn't feel different. I didn't feel like I was trading different. I had obviously made a lot of big adjustments, basically shut down 90% of what I was doing and only focused on one thing. And that was enough to move the needle for me. I tried not to ask myself too many questions. I tried to stay to the process and not question it too much, be a little bit ignorant of it, everything that was going on. Try not to think, oh, I'm better than I am, or try to think, oh, I'm getting lucky. I tried to shut out all thoughts of like that and just do what was working. And I remember I used to feel bad when I was making money in 2017, 18, 19, because all I was trading was OTC breakouts. And I remember Roland Wolf said to me, milk it while it's there. Make as much money as you possibly can. Don't feel bad about it. You found an edge in the market, and do everything you possibly can, because I always felt like I wasn't a real trader. You know, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm here to make money, as much money as I possibly can. I've exploited an area of the market, and there will come a day when I have to learn more things, and I probably should have done that a lot sooner, because I went through another drawdown in 2019 that I had to learn all listed stocks over again. But
Ever dreamed of trading like one of the Clovers? Well, it all starts with the right broker. Clover Trading and Centerpoint Securities have teamed up to supercharge your trading experience. By joining Unlock the Power of CP Edge exclusively with Centerpoint. We're talking top-tier trading tools worth over $6,000, all at your fingertips. Get ahead with real-time scanners, cutting-edge news, and a tailor-made trading journal. Experience trading like never before with superior short inventory, personalized support, unmatched trade execution, and interest on your idle funds. Plus, you can get competitive pricing that fits your trading style. Ready to elevate your trading game? Click the Clover Trading link in the description below to get exclusive deals with Centerpoint Securities. Now let's get back to the content.
You know, the questions I really asked myself was kind of very similar to when you're on a losing streak, when you're on a drawdown, is not to overthink it too much, but get to the root cause. So if I was just picking up or trying to get into trading in 2024 for the first time, you know, what is some advice? What are some key points that I would kind of emphasize? I think it's a fantastic time. A lot of people in 2022, 2023, they've had the victim mindset. They complain that the market isn't roaring like it was in 2020 and 2021, and that there's not the easy opportunities to make money and grow your accounts. But I think the people that started in 2022 and 2023 are going to absolutely murder the next hot market that we get. They've been through the tough times. They have had to put their head down and just study every single night, even though the opportunities aren't there. They've had to learn about sector momentum and, you know, momentum type of action whenever we get it in different types of themes with AI and Bitcoin or marijuana in very little stretches, not like we've seen them in 2017 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21. And they're probably so much more risk averse. They probably understand how to keep their account and not lose, you know, more money on any play than they should. They've learned how to maximize positions and make more money off of bad setups because they've had to eke out every single dollar, not in a market where stocks run an extra 100% that you have wiggle room to get out and make the meat of the move. You know, so going into 2024, I would treat it just like that in 2022, 2023, with, you know, the key points being, you know, keep it simple. Focus on the basics. You know, a lot of us Clovers have either gone through some rough patch, rough year, rough month, rough end of the year, and we're all kind of going through that same thing as well. You know, not necessarily starting over, but mindset-wise, you know, we're going from this different stage of our trading career into a new one. And what is our main focus? For me, my main focus is focus on the daily chart setups. Focus on what has stood the test of time for the entire amount of time that I've been trading the last 8 years, which is daily charts, volume, volatility, players. Like, where's the action at? Focus on that. Leave all the illiquid BS over here on the side and make my money on one trade every week. So keeping it simple, focusing on big daily charts, the stuff that has stood the test of time, and just being patient. So that's kind of my 2023 in a nutshell. Moving into 2024, all the lessons I've learned, the experiences I will take with me for a long time and grow from. Yeah, that's about it.